So my name's Peter McDonagh. I'm a former freeweight Irish champion, also an honorary WBC champion. I now run the Fisher Amateur Boxing Club, as well as professionals there. We got fighters from all over the world, which train in our club. You know, Nigeria, Kosovo, Albania, Ukraine. I mean, the list goes on. We got them from everywhere.
Tell us a brief story about your boxing career.
While I started boxing, I moved to London in 1983, and I was racially abused. In them days, it was no blacks, no dogs, no Irish. Birmingham was a very, very racist area, and boxing was like a safe place for myself, and that's where I started boxing. And I started at the Fisher over 40 years ago now. I started there when I was 6 years old. And as you can see, the glove, and I've gone full circle now. 17 years an amateur at the Fisher, 17 years of professional, fighting all over the world, sparring the likes of Floyd Mayweather, Canelo. I've had some great sparring, and like some great fights. I had 58 pro fights, got loads of trophies, belts, and for me, boxing is not about hitting people and all that sort of stuff. For me, boxing is about respect, discipline, and teaching people the right way in life.
Awesome. Tell me the story of how you got this WBC belt.
So basically, I was training for a WBC title in 2018, and I collapsed with a brain tumour. So obviously, there's only 2 people to ever get this belt. And if you've ever seen the film Hurricane Carter, he got one of these belts, and I've been given one of these belts. So it's a very, very special award. Like I say, physically, never won it. I beat world champions in my career. But like I say, they give me this because my services to boxing and what I've been through in life. Also, got a #1 best-selling book. Never knew how to read or write. I taught myself how to read and write. And I've got a #1 best-selling book called Irish Blood and Grit. And that tells me more about my life and what I've been through in life.
Awesome. Walk us through the pictures that you have on the belt.
So, Jose Sulaiman was the WBC. He died now, so it's in his memory. That's my father, Bill, still alive now, 85 years old. He brought 4 kids up on his own. This is my sister, Tish. I lost her to breast cancer about 10 years ago. She was like a mum to me. On the other side of the belt, I've got my brother. And funny enough, today is World Mental Health Day. My brother took his own life, committed suicide, hung himself. So I always say to people out there, please talk to people, because tomorrow's another day. And there's one of my daughters, Marnie, and there's my other daughter, Shannon. So this belt means more than 12 rounds of boxing. This is a belt for life, and it's a belt of life. And for what I want to do, give back to the community now, give back to the kids. Like I say, there's no race, there's no creed, there's nothing in boxing. We all bleed, we all cry, we all laugh, we all do everything the same. So boxing is the greatest sport in the world, and it brings people together. And we hear about all the stuff that happens on the streets. People bring up knife crime, but it's more than knife crime. There's so much happening out there. And if we can just save kids' lives, it's not always about becoming a champion. If we can save kids' lives and teach them the right way, that's all I want to do.
I'll ask you some quick fire questions.
Yeah.
You just pick one. Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury?
Tyson Fury.
Why Tyson Fury?
I just think Joshua now, I don't think he's gone physically, I think he's gone mentally. And once a fighter's gone mentally, I'll pick the fight against Dubois. Obviously, Daniel Dubois boxed for the Fisher, my amateur club, which I now run. And I picked him 3 weeks before. I fancied Joshua all along. But 3 weeks before I picked him, and people say, why did you pick him? I said, because mentally he was in a better place. When Joshua was talking about hitting people over the head with chairs and all that sort of stuff, I thought he's lost his mind. So I knew that the bar would knock him out. And I said it would be the Fisher right hand over the top. And I said in 5 to 6 rounds.
What sort of fight was it for you?
I just think one person was there mentally and one person weren't there mentally. When people say AJ looked like he forgot what he had done, he forgot what he'd done because mentally he was gone. It was nothing to do with he'd forgot what he's done about holding his hands up. It was mentally gone, just like the Usyk fight. The Usyk fight, I think his head was gone as well. I think ever since the Ruiz fight, I don't think AJ's been the same fighter. But what can I say? what he's done for English boxing, what he's done for boxing in general all around the world. But let's forget all around the world, in England, you know, a man, you know, from Nigeria, and you know, what can I say? What he's done in England, he changed the face of boxing. You know, Wembley, selling out Wembley. You know, 98,000 the last crowd. He beats all records. It's sad. It would be sad to see him go, but I'd rather see him go now, be happy and healthy, than go too far.
More quick fire questions. Richard Riakporhe or Chris Billam-Smith?
He's beat him already, hasn't he? He's beat him already, yeah.
Chris beat him, but I just want to know, who do you prefer?
No, do you know what? Chris Billam-Smith for me is another fighter that I don't think he's filled his full potential. I think he could be a lot better fighter. I think if he had a coach that was a teacher, not a cheerleader, you know, and somebody that's been there. And I think that's the wrong thing with boxing now. I think there's too many people that are doing people's corners and they never even took a punch on the chin.
More quick fire questions. Cruiserweight or heavyweight?
You got to go with heavyweight, ain't you? Heavyweight's the one, isn't it? You know, it's excitement. You know, it's excitement.
Why is there so much buzz about the heavyweight division?
You know what though? You know, my favourite fighters was Duran, Leonard, you know, Agler and Ernst. You know, I watched them sort of fighters. You know, lightweights moving up to middleweights. You know, them days. What can I say? Boxing was in a lot better place. You know, and I think there's a totally different clientele that come into boxing now as well. I think it's a lot more middle class, especially in the UK. You know, but you know, some kids now, I think there's money. They're making money other ways and a lot easier. You know.
Boxing or football?
Boxing. Boxers have got respect. They're polite people. I'm not saying all footballers ain't like that, but a lot of footballers, too much money, and I just don't think they've got the grounding that a boxer's got. Boxers are kept to the floor all the time, and it's a single man sport. You can't kick it to your mate if you get tired. You got to fight or go down.
Joseph Parker or Dilian Whyte?
Good fight. Good fight. I think Joseph Parker, because I just think he's been more active. You know, Dilian Whyte has been too inactive, in my opinion. You know, even against Fury, I thought Dilian Whyte weren't the fighter he was. He just looked shot. The two Chisora fights were hard fights, very hard fights. I think that took it out of him.
Do you know the heavyweight boxer Efe Ajagba from Nigeria?
Yes, I do, yeah.
What do you think about him?
Yeah, good fighter, very good fighter. Is he going to get the opportunities? I don't know. You know, it's a bit like Martin Bakole. Martin Bakole ain't getting the opportunities. And if you look at Martin Bakole, he looks like he's living life a bit too easy now. He's put a lot of weight on. I was in a lot of camps with Martin Bakole. I was with Tyson Fury for 9 years. Spent 9 years with Tyson Fury in the camps with Tyson. We were very, very close friends. But I still say it is. I told Tyson before the Usyk fight, don't take the fight. He's going to beat you.
Yeah. We just finished the political summit trying to address the problems of inequalities and empowering the girl child. We're talking a lot about education, and I think sports should be in the mention. How can we use boxing to empower the girl child?
I'll tell you what I'll say. I'm going to go a bit off the subject what you've just said there, but what you've just said there about, you know, the education, right? So basically for boxers, I've got in the gym as we speak. Some of them don't go to school. So what I'm bringing in now is an English teacher. So the English teacher, and I say, you're not going to box unless you do a few hours with this English teacher. Otherwise, I'm not letting you box. So it's reprimanding them if they don't learn. They learn to read and write. And with girls, I mean, we've got a lot of girls in the gym now, which, like, you know, they're very, very powerful girls now. They become very, very powerful. And some of them are real good fighters. And they listen. They listen a lot easier than boys. I was out in Pakistan in 2021. I put the first ever title fight on, professional title fight on in Pakistan. I was out there with Imran Khan and with the government. And while I was there, I spent a lot of time around a few young Muslim girls who could really fight. And one of them just been in touch now. And we're looking at bringing her over. She's nearly 17, looking at bringing her over. She wants to turn professional and make a whole career out of it. So I've been speaking to the mayor, and we want to start Muslim classes for girls. So it would be her to do the classes for the girls. So it works perfect.
Awesome. I don't want to let you go. Let's go back to the heavyweight division. Would Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua be a good fight?
I do think it would be now, because I think they're both at the end of their careers, in my opinion. We see against Ngannou, Fury wasn't the fighter he was, because even if he weren't even training for that fight, Fury would have played with him in the past. To me, Fury's legs ain't the legs he had. We see that against Usyk. You know, do I think Fury would have beat Usyk 3 or 4 fights ago? 100%. But I just think Usyk's not young, but I don't think he's had the wars that Fury's had against like Deontay Wilder, you know. And the same as Joshua. I mean, we can't take away from Anthony Joshua's boxed. Very much like Amir Khan. They box everyone, you know. Get knocked out or whatever, they don't care. They come back and they go again. But to me, Joshua's even lost his chin now. His chin's gone. You know, first right hand hit him on the chin against Dubois, he was over. I know Dubois punches, but it's like he can't hold a shot at all. Nah. You know, Dubois in his prime as well. You know, but I do not make predictions until a week before the fight. So I like to see the fighters mentally as well as physically. I'm so much into the mental side of it. So I believe 80% of it's mental and 10% of it's physical. You know, we're talking about Joshua versus Dubois too. Nah, can Joshua beat him? If his mind was right, he could beat him. But is his mind ever going to be right again? I don't know. To me, is it a rematch or is it a mismatch? You know, or do they just want to get another 96,000 people in the stadium? People make money and the fighters beat the hell out of each other. For me, I like to see safety first, you know.
Thanks, Champ, for speaking to me.
Cheers, mate. Nice one. Thank you.